Hola, taberna de Moe, la cuna de la cerveza.
Señoras y señores, bienvenidos una vez a mi canal. Hoy está con nosotros uno de los grandes y más importantes guitarristas de heavy metal. Estoy hablando de un guitarrista que ha tocado con bandas como Nightrage, Arch Enemy, Dream Evil, y él es el fundador de la banda Firewind. Y obviamente es muy conocido por haber tocado con el gran cantante Ozzy Osbourne. Él ha compartido escenarios con guitarristas como Slash, Ingrid Malmsteen, Zakk Wylde, entre otros guitarristas. Así que bueno, quiero darle la bienvenida. So I would like to introduce to you one of the greatest guitar players ever, the one and only Gus G.
Wow, thanks. That's a long introduction. Thank you.
Yeah. Let's talk about your beginnings. It seems like your father was a great influence on you, and he shows you bands like Pink Floyd, Santana, the Eagles, among other bands. What happens when he shows you the album of Peter Frampton?
Yeah, you have it right. He had some rock vinyls at home, and the vinyl of the album Frampton Comes Alive was the big kind of turning point for me when I was 9 years old, when I heard the song "Do You Feel Like We Do" and with that long extended solo on Talkbox. So somehow it sounded like a robot to me, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever as a kid. So I wanted to learn how to play guitar and make my guitar sound like this. There are many influences because I've been influenced by a lot of the stuff that I heard, my whole life. Anything from blues to heavy metal, So, but there's some core players that obviously have influenced my style. Obviously, a lot of 70s and 80s hard rock and metal. Bands like Sabbath, obviously Tony Iommi, or guitar players like Schenker, Michael, and Rudolph, Uli John Roth. A lot of 80s shredders like Yngwie and Paul Gilbert, and a lot of the guys from the Shrapnel era, Marty Friedman and Vinnie Moore, and like that whole scene, And of course, a lot of, all the classic rock guitar players that I grew up listening to, Dave Gilmour, even 60s, Jimi Hendrix, Robbie Krieger of The Doors, and Jimmy Page, and like a lot of stuff,
That's awesome. So you have a wide range of guitar players from many different styles, like classic rock to heavy metal. That's a great thing.
Yeah, even some fusion like Al Di Meola, stuff like that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Actually was born right after I dropped out of Berklee. I decided to, I still had some money saved, and I was like, okay, well, I paid for the rent here for a semester, so I'm gonna be staying in Boston. So I just decided to invest in a recording, and I just started writing songs in my bedroom, and some friends that I made from school, they hooked me up in the studio, and we started making a demo recording, or I was hoping it was going to be like a full album. It's actually like a full album recording, but it's essentially the first demo I ever made. Mm-hmm. So, when I was doing that, I decided that I wanted to start a band and call it Firewind, and
awesome.
That was the beginning, basically.
And which year that happened? When was that?
That was in 98.
98. Wow, long time ago.
I was a touring guitar player for a couple of months. It was It was actually through my connection in Sweden, because I mean, long story short, I ended up living in Sweden by the end of '99 for a few years, and I started this band with Fredrik Nordstrom, the producer of Arch Enemy, and many other bands, not only Arch Enemy. So we were doing demos for this new band called Dream Evil, and I, because I was spending a lot of time in his studio, I met a lot of the bands I would come in and record, and I met Michael Amott when he was there, and he was mixing some stuff, I think, and just became acquainted with a lot of people. And a few years down the line, he emails me and he's like, "Well, I'm looking for a guitar player, so can you come out and help us?" And so yeah, of course, that was a big opportunity, and I got to do my first American tour with them, which was the Ozfest in 2005. Yeah.
And how did you get the call to play for Ozzy Osbourne?
Yeah, I think they found me, I guess, from this magic place called internet. So yeah, they got in touch with me, and somebody from management, and they were like, "Yeah, you're like on our short list of players, and would you like to come out and audition?" It was like one of those situations, which was pretty crazy, And so I went out there. I went to LA, and we did an audition. We spent a day there, did an audition, and it went great.
So you played there with Blasco and I can't remember the name of the drummer right now. Tommy Clifford, right?
Tommy was there, yeah, and Blasco.
He's one of my favorite drummers ever. He's awesome.
Me too. He's great.
Yeah. And how was your experience with the process of making the album Scream with Ozzy Osbourne? How can you describe that process?
I mean, he made me feel very relaxed, because it was obviously it was a very stressful situation, jumping into a situation like that all of a sudden. And I wasn't sure what they wanted. I wasn't sure what I should do. The album was written, but there were no guitars. Like the producer, Kevin, he had played the guitars, but it was kind of like, it didn't sound as a real guitar player would have done it. So my job was to go in there and kind of like add solo parts and redo all the rhythms and make them sound a bit more cohesive,
Yeah.
But it was cool, because they made me feel very relaxed and comfortable. He had a very nice studio in the basement of his house. So I would go there every day and work with Kevin, and very relaxed. And we spent a few weeks there tracking guitars. It was a nice experience.
There's a song there called "Digging Me Down," and it reminds me the song "Diary of a Madman." The intro and everything. Did you compose that part there, or it was already composed?
You mean the acoustic parts?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was like stuff that I came up with, the acoustic parts. Yeah. I mean, we were working on a lot, when we were making the guitar parts, we were talking about it with Kevin. We should have some kind of influence from past stuff like this, some of the classic stuff, and try to make it obviously more modern.
Yeah.
Like how would Ozzy sound in 2010, for example, at least back then. And, trying to borrow a little bit from the 80s and the stuff he did, and trying to bring it into modern day.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And how was the touring? The experience of going into many big arenas and playing in front of a lot of people with Ozzy Osbourne?
Yeah, of course, it was amazing. It was amazing. It was it's not something that anybody gets to do every day, It's like,
Yeah.
So I got to do it for a few years with him, and it was amazing. It was a great experience. I learned a lot, and it was very cool. Very cool. It was definitely a big highlight for me, and it made me a much better musician, I would say. Yeah.
Awesome. Let's talk about your gear. For how long did you play with ESP guitars, and when did you decide to switch to Jackson guitars?
I was with ESP from 2004, I would say, until 2016 for about 12 years.
Wow, long time.
Yeah, I originally started working with the Japanese company, and we would, you know, they had released some of my guitars in Japan, but later they brought it into the international market and introduced it to the American market, actually, and. So yeah, we designed a few guitars with them, and in 2016 I made the switch to Jackson.
2016, awesome. So, which is your brand new model with the Jackson?
What's that?
Do you have a brand new model of a Jackson guitar?
Yeah, I do. I have two actually this year. We released a star guitar. It's hanging back there in the middle.
Okay.
And the other one is actually a San Dimas shape, which is like a Strat style guitar.
Ah, the red one.
The red one, yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful guitar. Is it possible that, can you show us the middle guitar?
The middle guitar?
Yeah.
Well, I have it right here. I can try to show you later. It's this one here. So.
Awesome. Okay. What kind of pickups do you have there?
Well, it's actually my own pickups. It's a new company that I started. It's
awesome. What is it?
They're called Blackfire pickups. So I just started this year with them, and we made an exclusive run of pickups for these guitars. And one set is active, and for the red guitar we have a passive set.
Right.
So for this year they've been exclusively on these guitars, but we're planning to release them next year separately, you know. So if somebody wants to buy the pickups and put them on their guitar, they can do that. So that's the next project. So.
Right.
Yeah.
And what about your amps? You still using Blackstar or?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, still Blackstar.
Great, awesome. So let's talk about the plans for the future. Are you gonna still playing for Firewind, or there's a new album coming out?
Well, we just released an album about 5 months ago. So it's a self-titled record, and I mean, we were planning to promote this record this year to do a tour, but you know, everything is canceled now because of the pandemic. So I don't think we're gonna get to do a proper tour anytime soon.
Okay.
I mean, there's plans to go out next year, but who knows?
Okay.
So you know, at the moment I'm at home and I'm just writing more music for another album. So we'll see.
Are you working in solo stuff, or
both solo and Firewind? Yeah, I'm just writing a lot of stuff now.
Cool, very good. Are you giving online lessons for guitar players, or no? You're not doing that?
No, I haven't done that. No, I did like an online masterclass, but no, I haven't. I mean, I'm so absorbed with, you know, working on music and just other day-to-day stuff that I don't have any time left to do lessons right now.
So it was a tremendous honor for me making this interview, because I'm a huge fan of Ozzy Osbourne, and when I heard the album Scream, it was like amazing. It was a totally different thing, you know. I love Zakk Wylde, but it was a totally different thing, and I love your guitar playing. And then I started hearing Firewind. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Wow, thanks, man.
So a lot of people here in Argentina, there's a lot of people that love Firewind, and obviously your work with with Ozzy Osbourne. So it's gonna be a great thing for us here. All right, Gus, it was a tremendous honor, and thank you for your time. Thank you for everything, and we keep in touch.
Thanks, dude. Take it easy.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.